Next building, past the post office. You got the alleyway, and then after the alley, the next property.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Pastor Frank is here for our prayer.
O Creator, our richest treasure, we come tonight to make decisions that will affect our city and community. In our hearts and minds, we plan our course. We pray you establish our steps. We seek your wisdom. Help us not to make decisions based only upon what we know, but act based upon your wisdom. Please guide us. We place this meeting in your hands. We place our hearts and minds in your hands so that you may direct us, that our plans be orchestrated by you, and the people of Guthrie will be blessed by what happens here tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
We'll call to order the 67th City Council regular meeting of April 16th, 2024. The time is 6:31. The second item on the agenda is public comments, community announcements, and recognitions. I don't believe we had anybody sign up for public announcements, but we do have a proclamation, which I will read. And we have a member of our police department here to receive the proclamation on behalf of the department. I see the 5-minute time limit. I'll attempt to get through this lengthy
I'll block
document
you,
in
man.
5 minutes.
And don't be like Dan.
Whereas the term victim is more than just a label and has legal standing and protections that go along with it, and whereas Crime Victims' Rights Acts were passed in the great state of Oklahoma and at the federal level, guaranteeing victims the right to meaningfully participate and use their voice in the criminal justice process, and whereas victim service providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other allied professionals can help survivors find their justice by enforcing these rights, and whereas the right to provide an impact statement ensures that victims' voices are considered in court during the sentencing and when applicable restitution processes. And whereas including and elevating the voices of survivors makes certain that they are heard and seen and creates a path to forging and sustaining community trust. And whereas engaging survivors creates responses and services that are credible, meaningful, and centered on individuals' needs. And whereas survivors' lived experiences can serve as a catalyst for implementing innovative programs, shifting existing programs in new directions, and changing policies and practices that prevent survivors from accessing services or pursuing justice. And whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to listening to crime victim survivors in every space where decisions are made that could impact them, and whereas the City of Guthrie and its police department is hereby dedicated to amplifying the voices of survivors and creating an environment where survivors have the confidence that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Grant Aguirre, Vice Mayor of the City of Guthrie, declare the week of April 21st through the 27th of 2024 to be Crime Victims Advocates' Right Week, reaffirming the city's commitments to creating a victim services and criminal justice response that assists all victims of crime during Crime Victims Week and throughout the year, and expressing our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victims, service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace. Adopted the 16th day of April 2024, Grant Aguirre, Vice Mayor of the City of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Item number 3 is the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that a member wants removed for further discussion? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as published and printed on the posted notice and on, it's not on our screen, but should be on our screens. But it's on my agenda here. So there's been a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded and laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, you may cast your vote by electronic device.
All votes are in.
Having received a majority of those elected to and constituting the council, the motion passes unanimously. Item number 4 is moot as there are no items that have been removed from the consent agenda. Item number 5 is a public hearing on the USDA grant application. Discussion, consideration, and possible action in opening a public hearing to give the citizenry an opportunity to become acquainted with the purchase of Rescue 1 emergency vehicle and the intent of the city of Guthrie to file an application for financial assistance through the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Housing Services for said purchase. Chief Lawson.
So, let's see.
I believe we have a presentation. There you go.
Okay. So Vice Mayor
Yeah,
and
do
Council,
something with those lights,
Sorry. There we go. Oh, wrong one.
The
Hang
party's
on.
over.
She's only been doing
There
this
we
for
go.
a while.
There we go.
Scooch this a little bit.
Label those switches.
Shut us off, too.
On, off.
so Vice Mayor and Council, this Rescue 1 apparatus is one of our frontline apparatuses. It responds to all our MVAs, water rescues, and house fires and extrications. It's a 2000 international. It has 46,000 miles on it. Just to mind you, these 46,000 miles are not your typical 46,000 miles on a regular civilian life vehicle. This truck is, we get in this truck and hammer it down whenever it's cold, hot, rain and snowing, and then they can either get on scene and idle for 5 minutes or they can be on scene for several hours. Just to give you a little example is we took it to the downtown fire because it can also fill our SCBA bottles. So it was on scene for almost 24 hours idling that day.
What's those bottles again?
Our SCBA bottles is basically compressed air, so whenever we can run into buildings with smoke and still be able to breathe.
So the hours are through the roof probably on it.
Yes, so we tried to pull the engine hours, but Rescue 1 currently does not have an engine hours
Meter.
meter on it. It had, so we noticed some knocking coming from the engine. We took it out to Romax diesel shop here in town. It had to be towed because it was leaking oil. From there, they found that not only was it leaking oil, but radiator fluid was also getting into the engine, basically resulting in catastrophic engine failure. So they told us we could look at doing a rebuild engine. It's about $20,000 and it comes with a 1-year warranty. Or we can look into this USDA grant opportunity. We also have funds from selling the ARF truck that we just recently sold. And then we could look at taking the box that's currently on Rescue 1. It's not in bad shape. There'll be some things that need to be fixed, but we could reuse that box on a new cabin chassis.
So just to add a couple of points of clarification, the public hearing that we're hosting tonight in conjunction with this presentation, if we'll leave the presentation on the screen, that'll be fine, is the first step in applying for USDA matching funds. So a 35% grant match for a truck to replace this unit. What you're looking at for total cost on a replacement is about $102,000. The USDA grant will match 35% of that cost. And so we didn't feel comfortable putting $20,000 into an engine, replacing that unit, when we could take that $20,000, match it with some county fire tax funds, in addition to some funds we received from the sale of a surplus unit, which was about $20,000. So for $66,000, we can get a $100,000 unit via this USDA grant. So that's the reason we're presenting this to you. We didn't feel comfortable rebuilding the engine. Again, like I said, you've still got basically a 25-year-old truck here. So that's the reason we're here, and that's why the chief is presenting this to you.
So you're talking about cabin chassis?
That's correct. Yep. So the box would be remounted with, like the chief demonstrated with some upgrades and corrections to the box.
You would put something on it to check for the engineers on it too, kind of like you do a combine, where you can know how many engineers you have once you sit there idling.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And it didn't have that hour.
Well, the new ones will all have that.
They
I'm
all-
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Should have it,
Yeah.
I like the idea. I think it needs to be done.
Go ahead, Chief.
So what's the life of these boxes that we keep moving around?
Right, well, so, for example, the ambulance that we're looking to remount, they said we can remount that up to 5 times, and it's a 2013 that we're sending off to get remounted, so. And that box is actually in pretty great shape for being over 10 years old, so.
And when before we have those rebuilt, we have the manufacturer recertify, go back through, look at the box. If it's not feasible to remount it, same with the ambulance. We've got a couple of ambulances, for example, the International, I believe, Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, the International, the box that's on that unit would not be compatible with a new cab and chassis unless we went back with an International, which is a more expensive unit versus the Fords or the Dodges that we're running today. So it is something we do take into consideration when exploring those options. So best use of the dollar is what we're after.
So what do you need from us? Just-
The chief will continue his presentation. I think he's got one more slide. Is this it?
Should be it, yep.
Leaking oil, and water.
Yep.
Okay. So with the public hearing, the intent is to give the public an opportunity to comment on the application. If there's anybody here interested in speaking for or against, this would be an opportunity for them to speak.
Are there any members of the public that want to speak? Are there any other questions or comments from the council? If not, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion to allow for the application for the USDA grant.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded and laid upon the table. The members can cast their device by electronic device.
Oh, not yet. I'm sorry.
I was lagging.
Case.
My
Case.
fault. Jim
Your
Case,
vote.
What?
you haven't voted.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry. I was trying to get Eddie's attention.
Having received a unanimous vote of those elected to and constituting the council, the motion passes. Thank you.
About that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Item number 6, ordinance number 3408, Guthrie Parks and Urban Forestry Board. Discussion, consideration, and possible action of adopting ordinance 3408, creating the Guthrie Parks and Urban Forestry Board, establishing membership, organization, and powers and duties. Director Maker.
Vice Mayor, Council, we've talked about this a time or two. What this will do, we'll combine our Parks Board, our Forestry Board as one unified board, changing the verbiage in the current ordinance that we have.
It's my understanding that there are a couple of vacancies on the Park Board currently. Is that right, or have they been filled?
We have one vacancy.
One vacancy, and so will the boards, it will be comprised of membership from both at this point, or would the membership be reduced?
Membership numbers would stay the same, not adding no additional members. We would still have the one vacancy in the combined boards together.
So the purpose for this, I apologize, Brian, or Jim, go ahead.
No, that's my question. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So the purpose of this combination came as a result or question both of the mayor, vice mayor, and even the forestry division. So I don't believe the Urban Forestry Board has met in quite some time, Tenny.
6 years, roughly.
So in order to continue moving that board forward, and we're looking at this in all of our volunteer boards, if there's a way that we can eliminate a redundancy and create some more efficiency, combine some boards, this is the first start of this. You are seeing it tonight because the advisor from the forestry, the U.S. Forestry Office, is retiring in May, and he wanted to assist us through this process, make sure we continue to receive our Tree City designation. That's a very important, prestigious honor we've held for 27 years this year. We don't want to lose that. So this ordinance comes as a result of their recommendation.
Is there any further discussion? Is there
So
a
moved.
motion? Go ahead. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 3408, creating the Guthrie Parks and Urban Forestry Board? I think there was a
moved.
motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made, seconded, and laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, the members may cast their vote by using the electronic device.
All votes are in.
Having received a unanimous vote of those elected to and constitute the council, the motion passes. Ordinance number 3408 is adopted as written. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tony.
Let's see, the next one as well. Director Maker on bid number 2024-04 Owen Field Softball Facility Upgrade, Phase 1A.
Vice Mayor, Council, public notice was published in the News Leader, March 20th and 27th of '24, to solicit bids for this project. We had received 9 bids. They were read out loud April 9th, 10 a.m. in the council chambers. I believe all the bids is in the packets. If you'd like me to, I'd go through all of them, read them out loud. We've had them reviewed by Bill Myers and his firm. Staff would like to recommend moving forward with True North Contracting LLC out of Meeker, Oklahoma. They were the lowest bidder, coming in at $528,279.02.
So moved.
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded to award bid number 2024-04 to True North Contracting in the amount of $528,279.02 and allowing the mayor to execute the same. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, the members may cast their vote using electronic device.
All votes are in.
Having received a unanimous vote of those elected to and constituting the council, the motion passes. Thank you. Item number 8 is the awarding of the Community Development Block Grant CV3 window contract, and this is Deputy City Clerk Jesse Bryan.
Hi, thanks, Vice Mayor and Council. I don't know if you guys have any questions. The only information that I thought that I might share with you about this window project is that you know, last time I was in front of you about this, we were running up against a deadline in January. Since then, we were extended to finish the project in July 16th of 2024. And then also, I wanted to tell you that the balance for the window project in the grant is over $77,000. So what I'm asking you to approve, the $69,640, will be completely covered by the grant.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Great. So there's actually a correction. The amount is how much?
$69,640.95.
I think the two are combined.
But it's combined in that.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes.
All right.
If you add those together.
For $10,750 and then
Yes,
$58,890 for a total of $69,640.95.
yes, sir.
So moved.
There's been a motion made, seconded, and laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion? The members may cast their vote by electronic device.
All votes are in.
Having received unanimous vote of those elected to and constituting the council, the motion passes. The award of CDBG CV3 window replacement contracts to ATG Construction Incorporated for $10,750 in Oklahoma Centers for $58,890.95 for a grand total of $69,640.95 has passed. Item number 9, discussion regarding solicitor's license. City Manager, Mr. Faulkner is on for this one.
Yes, Vice Mayor and Council. Wanted to open up an item for discussion regarding solicitors and/or canvassing permits, licenses. It's come to my attention that our current ordinance requires a permit be renewed every 15 days. So, and we charge a fee per day on that 15 days. Not only is that inconvenient for folks who are attempting to solicit inside the city, it's also a burden which is undue upon our staff. So it has been requested by a few members of the business community that we bring this item up for discussion. Wanted to let you know, within the surrounding area, the cities of Edmond, Stillwater, and Perry all issue permits that are valid for 1 year, and they charge a fee that ranges anywhere from $75 to $500 based on whether or not that solicitor lives within the city limits. And again, if you don't live within city limits, you pay a higher fee. And in addition to that, the city issues an identification badge, which the solicitor must pay for and be wearing at all times in which they are soliciting inside the city limits. So from a staff perspective, that's something we would like to explore. We would like to get your thoughts, have a conversation here if there's any concerns or considerations that perhaps we haven't explored. But at this time, we're not asking for any action. We'd just like to discuss this, let you know it's been brought to our attention, and this is what we've come up with so far. The remainder of the ordinance should remain in effect when we do bring it to you for action. So we'll detail all the proposed changes, but just so you are aware, the things that we're looking at is what I have just described. So,
Have you had any pushback from anybody, or they all like what you're talking about doing?
So lots of good feedback on a 1-year term, including from the city clerk's office, which is issuing the permits, because I can tell you, and Ms. Biggs is welcome to say, every 15 days, her staff is having to go through the process of reissuing those permits.
For what
Solic-
types of businesses?
If I may, some of these people reached out to me about the actual issue with that. They're totally like local people that's been here their whole lives, and they're just, it would be like a, I'm just throwing this out loud, I'm not, this is not it, but like a lawn mowing company that's going into the summer right now and going and saying, hey, these are my rates now, can I mow your lawn for you? Yes, no, okay. That's what this is about. This is not about, like he was saying, like Edmond people coming in wanting to sell shingles during the storm years. And
Typically what you see is like door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
So the local folks who we've had come to us, again, they're mosquito authority, pest authority, things of that nature.
Right.
They're looking to sell services in the community, so.
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of like, if I were, just myself personally, if I were to try to canvass the city with a flyer, is that the kind of stuff you're talking about?
That's correct.
So I would then come in and get a permit from the city that allows me to do that for a year?
Right,
Okay.
which, that should be happening now, except it's only good for 15 days. So, and then you would have to be reissued.
Well, that's probably all I can afford anyway.
Well, we are charging a daily fee, Jim, so.
It's called soliciting.
It'll be $500 for you.
How much is it each time again for the 15 days right now?
$2 a day,
So it's 30.
plus a base fee.
$30
Yeah.
It's basic $55 every 15 days.
Yeah, for a small business, it's just by themselves, like a husband and wife team. That's a lot every 15 days.
So it's 55 every 15 days?
So again, this item came up because of a local business. I visited with Kim and her staff about this, and Kim was eager to say, let's change the term on that. Yeah, I think the intent behind the original term was to sort of ensure that solicitors were legit and that they weren't just bothering or creating a nuisance for the community. But we have other ways to control that as we go forward. So that would be our recommendation. That's all we're looking to change. You do have the existing ordinance in your packet. Kim, did you have something else?
I didn't even realize we charged local businesses
I didn't either.
for it.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
I'm not sure they do either.
You don't.
I would never have thought to do that, but
Do you want a motion to amend the ordinance to make it for a year?
You can't.
No motion at this time. We do have an action item.
Oh, it does,
it
yeah.
does give possibility of action.
No motion tonight. We wanted to get a general consensus, have this discussion. We'll bring an action item back to you in May. So,
Tracy, what are your thoughts? Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like
Whatever,
that.
whatever works best for the city and works best for the people who are affected by it, I'm for it. I trust your judgment.
Okay, I think we're done with that one.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you.
so item number 9 will be brought back up at a later date since there's no motion on the table. Item number 10, the city manager's report.
All right, Vice Mayor and Council, so we have officially, tomorrow, we've officially been together for 1 year. And so that's a big deal. And Team Guthrie's year in review would like to take a moment, kind of take a look back at the year. Not only do we have a new city manager, we've got 2 new council members. So we've got a fresh council, we've got a couple of new department heads. So it's been a big year. I'm not sure why the presentation is not centered, though.
It's a little
I
off.
thought that was honestly like that. I thought it was like supposed to be skewed to the right.
Okay. Okay. Shonda's telling me to just go, so.
Go with it, go with it, Eddie.
Yeah, so, taking a look back to this time last year, we added a couple of new team members. So Fire Chief Dane Lawson, Airport Director Caden Young. So, of course, you guys know the history on these 2 folks. Went through that process fairly early in our time together. Budget, in this budget year, we did allocate a 4% cost of living adjustment for all employees, both bargaining units, and that's a good thing as well. We added 1 full-time firefighter position, 2 part-time paramedics, which brought fire department staffing levels per shift at 11, 10, and 10. So we had planned, if you'll recall, back to the budget meetings as well as the sales tax update we did in January, we had planned to add 3 full-time firefighter positions if the budget would support it. So far, the budget has not supported those 3 full-time positions. So we've done what we could with the budget as it came in. At this time, if that changes between now and the end of the year, then we'll make adjustments as needed. But at this time, that's where we're at. So. We relocated the Guthrie Tourism Office. So if you'll remember, they were located down next to Hoboken Coffee. We're now over at the Chamber. So we've got a presence in the downtown core on the weekends where folks can walk into the Chamber. Chamber's open. We're staffing that office. We've had a lot of good feedback from that. And it's given us a good professional relationship with the Chamber. So we've been able to create some good momentum with that transition. Major purchases in this budget year, 2 new police units, neither of which have arrived yet, just so you know. In true supply chain fashion, these were both approved in October of 2024 after the new fiscal year began. Both units have been ordered, and we have not received them yet. So they've been ordered. This council has approved them. They just haven't come in. We were fortunate to get the fire department out of a pickle and purchase this transport ambulance, which how many miles does it have on it now, Chief? It's got 13,000 miles on it, and we put it in service in end of October. And that's just transfers. So that means they're going from hospital to hospital, or they're in town. So we keep this unit in town on the better streets because it's not as heavy duty of a truck. We don't want to send it out, certain portions of the county, et cetera. So. Few little reviews here as it relates to utilities. The sanitation contract with Waste Connections, that again was another major item we were able to get off high center. We were a few years behind on that one. Took that revenue line item from a net loss to a positive. We were able to reestablish an agreement with the town of Cedar Valley. So those folks got sanitation off high center, got those rates where they needed to be back to where the original margins were, and then incorporated an automatic slider into that agreement. So each year, as Waste Connections rate increases, the city's rate will increase by the same percentage. We're not making any more money. We're not losing any more money. We're staying flat. So it's just an automatic slider that we brought forward to the council for approval. Oklahoma Natural Gas, we received through the city council, came in, facilitated, reviewed, and proposed the first ever franchise agreement in 100 years. So that's a big deal. ONG to have served the city of Guthrie all that time with no formal franchise agreement. So, and we did that without raising utility rates. We didn't raise any utility franchise fees. And we kept that at a 2% franchise fee, which most cities are anywhere from 4 to 6% franchise fees. And again, staff and council, we kept that at that 2%, that lower fee. So, fiber internet, we facilitated and approved again through the city council a right-of-way agreement with Dobson Fiber, which allows additional opportunities for the residents in terms of the marketplace for internet solutions. So, we hosted, thanks to Councilman Jeff Taylor, Congresswoman Stephanie Bice twice. We were able to get her here to talk about important infrastructure, water and sewer lines, as well as transportation needs. And we have officially received, hopefully you saw my email over the weekend, we've officially received notice of award of a little over $8 million in congressional earmarking, which is huge. $8 million from our Congresswoman, $6 million out to the terminal, the airport terminal, a little over $2 million to replace the only critical fracture critical bridge on College. So I say that wrong every time. Tenny, did I get that right? Okay. Okay. So that's a big deal. Those requests began under City Manager Alsop's tenure. Eric Harlow and Justin Fortney submitted those applications, so we were able to see the fruition of that, and you'll see those projects coming to you shortly. We have now submitted for fiscal year 25 just over $10 million in infrastructure projects. So Congresswoman Bice has been generous to the community, and if you see her out and about, she'll be in town Saturday for the 89ers parade. Please share your appreciation. She's been honest with us. She's been upfront about the appropriations process, and to say that it is easy would be a misstatement for sure. So we appreciate her representation. Hosted Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. Senator Mullen's chief of staff and I have a good relationship from my time in Rogers County. Senator Mullen came out to the Chamber Investor Picnic, which was held at Mineral Wells. Where we were able to connect them with the Chamber, and Brittany did a good job facilitating a quasi-town hall event at the Chamber Investor Picnic. So we're building and we're maintaining relationships with not only our local delegation, but also our federal delegation. And that's crucial to our success, not only in the earmarkings process, but anywhere else when we're asking for federal grants, applications, things of that nature. Additional grant pursuits, we've still not heard back from ACOG. However, we remain cautiously optimistic as it relates to the roundabout and the reconstruction of Sooner Road to Lake Road. That's a little over a $2.5 million project there, which, if comes to fruition, will be a great start to repairing Sooner Road. One of the big items, which I truly enjoyed working with the council and the airport board, Chairman Aguirre and Councilor Tracy Williams, was the transition to the fixed-base operator out at the airport. So I know we all know Glenn Crabtree and his 48 years of service out at the airport. Can tell you that the FBO transition was no easy task. And without this transition in City Council and the airport board, I'm not sure that it would have come to fruition. So that's a huge community win and will be pivotal when we construct the new airport terminal. So, capital improvement projects. As if we weren't busy enough, we decided to take on the CIP number 2 to fund the variety of projects that we've discussed and been discussing here lately received 79.85%, may as well call it 80% voter approval. That's huge. That's huge for a sales tax election here in the city of Guthrie. All of this information as it relates to growing Guthrie is still on that website. That website will remain live for archival purposes. You see this nice little screenshot here on the right is the homepage of that website. So when you pull it up, that's what you see. And then you've got all the supporting documentation along with that. So drafting RFQs and reviewing bids. So as we broke ground, and tonight we've awarded the first big package on Owen Field. So excited to get Owen Field off a high center, get that first bid package awarded and moving forward. Guthrie Rodeo Arena, we were able to get an RFP out, review those proposals, and get that lease agreement awarded to Bobby Kane. We've had some good momentum out at the rodeo arena and the fairgrounds in general. Upcoming this week, you've got the 89ers Rodeo, which I visited with Bobby a little bit ago with the chuck wagon feed. He's got some pretty big sponsors that have gotten behind the rodeo, so that's great. Highland Park Pool, Guthrie Fire Station number 2. This is a picture of the pool over in Hennessy. We have not brought an agreement to you yet. We're working through an agreement with you now, with an architecture firm now, to do something similar to what you see here in Hennessy, maybe a slightly smaller, but along that context, retrofit of the pool with a budget that we've discussed previously and with the oversight committee. So none of that's been approved yet. It's not solid, it's not concrete, but that's where we're headed. We did receive over 10 respondents to that RFQ, which is huge, again. So a lot of good momentum. Talk about the shops. We've talked about the shops a lot. We were able to get those open, the Red Brick Nights, in July. Again, give credit to Shonda for all her hard work out there. We have graduated 3 businesses into downtown storefronts. So Mouthful Confections, Rustic Teas Boutique, and BG's Clothing Co. 2 of those businesses are located on Division, and 1 of those on Oklahoma. So the retail incubator space is working just as it was intended. We've currently got 4 businesses on the wait list, and we've got 2 reoccurring events that bring the public, aside from Red Brick Nights, that bring the public out to the shops. So the Downtown Downbeat and the Guthrie's Downtown Market, which was started by Tammy Halsey. Tammy was actually, her event, the Farmers Market, actually resulted in Mouthful Confections moving into the shops. So the Farmers Market, we had a business start there, move into the shops, and then transition into a brick and mortar location all within a year. That's, again, a good community win. So the big initiative, again, credit to Dan, his staff, and Shonda for all the digital design and the catalog that you see, as well as these PowerPoints. Shonda does a fantastic job with these visuals, which aid us in educating the public and these presentations. So we've had a lot of positive feedback on the big program. I believe Dan has done 2, maybe 3 interviews so far. 2 interviews with local news stations. Had numerous contacts from local developers as well as local folks who are looking to build a home. So we've not seen that come to fruition just yet, but we've had, again, lots of good momentum. So a couple of employees I want to highlight tonight, and we're going to highlight them after the city council meeting. Tenny Maker hit his 29 years with the city last week. As you guys know, working in public works and doing what Tenny does every day, 29 years is a huge milestone. And I think he's the first public works director that I've seen hit that in recent history. So in one place. Now, I've seen a lot of people hit 30 years. I've not seen anybody hit 30 years in one spot. So that's a huge congratulations to Tenny Maker on that.
I love your picture. I can hear them all giggling over there.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
yeah. He's aged just a little bit since
Yeah.
that photo there.
I think so.
Tinny's an asset to the team, and I couldn't be more thankful to have Tinny as our Public Works Director. Our other employee, as you guys well know, Miss Biggs, 24 years. So she and Tinny are the poster child and the flagship for when we get new employees. Usually I tell them in the interview process, well, two of our most important department heads have been here for almost 30 years. And that's a big deal, especially when you tell new employees that. It's like, you can start here and have a future here. That's important. That's what people are looking for. So I didn't tell either one of them that I was going to be doing this tonight, so they would not have been happy if I had. So after the meeting, we're going to go upstairs, and they don't know that either, but we've got a nice little surprise planned for them and in the third floor conference room. Everybody in here is welcome to come up and join us. Thank you for the last year. It's been great. I've enjoyed it. I think staff's enjoyed it, and I look forward to many more. So that's all I have for you.
All right, thank you very much. Item number 11, requests, comments from the city council. Councilman Case.
89ers is coming. I hope everybody's ready. I hope we have a really good time this year. The weather works out for us. And Kim, Tinny, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
The rest of you too. Not just.
Councilman Bothroyd.
Yeah, congratulations, Kim, Tenny, and our little new guy, Eddie, over there. Not that you're that little, but hey, a year's an accomplishment too.
Well, if you're in city manager years, because it was like 7 years, right?
Yeah, getting a little gray.
Yeah, the gray is coming in. That's good. Thank you.
And that's it for me.
Thank you. Councilman Williams.
Congratulations, yes, milestone certainly worth recognition. We, as a city, missed a storm this week, so it was good to see that the carnival's up and running, can make some money. I guess Saturdays are a good chance of it. It's gonna be cold and windy, they say, so Pastor Frank, if you can do something about that, we would appreciate it. All right, thank you.
Might take the ministerial alliance.
Yeah, all of them get together.
Councilman Taylor.
Thank you, staff. Gosh, guys, 24 and 29, that's a long time. I feel like I've been here a long time too, but I appreciate both of you, and thank you, Eddie, for being here too. That was great. 89ers is this week, and we don't need any rain, but there's a chance of it. But if you still want to enter something, get with me or some of the guys uptown here, and we'll get you in there, get you float, put you in the parade. Other than that, that's it.
Thank you. Councilman Robb.
Congratulations again, Tinny and Kim. You guys don't look your age. I mean, that's good. I was thinking, just gonna be honest with you, that was the first thing that entered my mind. I was like, wow, I didn't think they'd be old enough to have that. So good for you guys on that too. Eddie, congrats on the 1 year. We both kind of came on here at the same time. I'm impressed. I appreciate it. Just don't screw it up. And I'm just messing with you. I appreciate all the hard work and dedication you've made, Eddie, and congrats on the 1 year.
I would like to echo everyone's sentiments. Director Maker, City Clerk Kim Biggs. The quality of an employment and the way employees feel about their job is reflected in the longevity of tenure that employees have. And to have that length of tenure speaks well, not only of you, but also of the city of Guthrie as a place to work, and I am grateful to everybody who makes this a pleasant place to work. When you walk into City Hall, people are genuinely happy to be here, and I think that's important. And I think our citizens recognize that it's a good place to be. And so I am enormously grateful for the years of service that you have given to the city. And Eddie, I am very grateful for the year that you've been here and that we have gotten to work together, and I look forward to 3 more. So, you know.
Here, here. Minimum.
Regarding
That's a
80
minimum.
Regarding 89ers, I
You just been put on
understand.
notice?
Yeah, I did. I've never had a 3-year notice.
I'm not giving you your notice.
You know,
I understand the city has entered this year a entry in the parade, and so for those of you who want to walk in the parade or ride in the parade on the city, I encourage you to do that. I understand that I have been drafted, since our mayor is not here, to walk in the city float and pass out candy. I had wanted to just ride and throw candy, but I'm told that that's like a hazard.
It's hard to do.
Can't do that.
I really, yes, I know. I sort of thought the old way of doing it was a method of natural deselection for some, for some people. But I'm
can't
told
throw and
we
wave at the
can't
same
do that anymore. We have to, hand out the candy, right?
Really?
So if you want to walk in the parade, the city's got an entry for those members of the council and staff that want to do that. I wanted to ask a question about the Grow Guthrie website. You said that it would remain up for archival purposes.
yes, sir.
Are we going to update that as we progress? So
Yes.
I think it's a good way of keeping the citizens up to date as to the progress and what they have given us, what they've honored us with in terms of, the trust that they placed in us and showed for the city. If we keep that up to date as a way of letting them know.
Yes, sir. That is the staff's intent, and we will keep that current.
All right, very good. And then I wanted to thank Director Kasich for the big initiative. I understand Positively Paseo is moving forward with affordable housing, and they are going to use the plans that you have been so instrumental in developing. So I think that's a positive direction for the city of Guthrie, and I'm grateful to welcome them to the community to start building and developing affordable housing. And that's all I had. If there is no objection, hearing no objection, I will adjourn our city council meeting at 7:17, and I will convene and call to order our Guthrie Public Works Authority at 7:17. And the second item on the agenda is the consent agenda, items A through D. Are there any items that trustees would like to have removed for individual consideration? Hearing no items being removed for individual consideration, I'll entertain a motion on item 2, the consent agenda, items A through B, as published and listed on the agenda.
So moved.
There's been a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made and seconded. If there's no further discussion, cast your vote by electronic device.
All votes are in.
Having received a majority of those constituting the board, the trustees, the motion carries. Item number 3 is items removed from the consent agenda. Having no items been removed, item 3 is moot. We move to item 4. Item number 4 is the termination of a contract with Young Contracting LLC on CDBG Water System Improvement Project. Mr. Wheeler.
So before Teddy gets too comfortable in his 29 years of service, I think it might be beneficial if he would give us a little brief history of how we got here.
Let's, City Attorney, if I may jump in here for a minute. Let's have Bill Myers, City Engineer, come up, as well as Tenny Maker, Public Works Director. We'll have them give you as much background as possible on this, and then provide City Attorney's recommendation to move forward.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was going to get that.
It's gonna take more words.
Yeah.
Paid by the
Vice Mayor, Council, just to kind of update you, this project is our CDBG waterline project that runs up and down Division from approximately Harrison down to just in front of the water treatment plant. What brings us here is we've been trying to get this project closed out for now quite some time, working back and forth with the contractor on various agreements, having no luck to get to an agreement, which has kind of brought us to where we're at now.
Hence the multiple holes in division constantly?
Yeah, a lot of those was part of the project. I mean, there was a couple of instances where we've had some work that had failed or holes that had been left open. Weather had moved in, and some issues that happened, created a water main break, resulting in 3 major events to our water distribution system that resulted in quite a bit of cost to the city that we've yet to be able to recoup.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Was that the one by
Done with
Sonic?
this.
Yes, one was the Sonic.
The one by Sonic?
The leak that we had seen for quite some time in front of Sonic, that was a valve, a leaking valve that, yes, resulted in, from the water main break that happened down in front of our water treatment plant. Of course, trying to shut down the water in that process created the valve to leak, and it did leak then for quite some time due to that project extended time period.
And I think the other one was the one down by Hoboken's too, where y'all had to, I guess, do the work yourself.
That was actually a 4-inch line that was missed on the line, a service connection that we did not know anything about. Once we got to the point of killing the line, it was determined that 4-inch was actually tied to that main line. No, it was an unforeseen type situation there.
So Young Contracting is in multiple projects that we have going on, right?
With Guthrie?
Well, yes.
Yeah, we have.
So
them
it's
on-
kind of a bad,
Sure,
it's
we
not
got
a
them
good
on,
deal.
obviously this project, and then we have them on section B and C of the wastewater treatment plant project. This one, you know, so I talked with staff, talked with Billy. I've only had to do this twice since I've been doing this, okay? And there's just so many circumstances that the contractor has been involved in, so many things that just haven't come together. There's negative things with vendors and that have been a burden on all of us. It's caused an enormous amount of work on us, on the staff, to deal with those issues. And here we are at the end, we're trying to close the contract out. We've already missed 1 grant cycle. We could have applied for a CDBG grant on May 1, and I believe we would have been successful, but it's not closed out because this is opening, because we're at a
So did
impasse.
they breached the contract?
Yeah, in multiple ways, and Billy and I looked at it many times, and I would not, this is a painful thing to go through for us. It will be for him, but, you know, I hate to say it, but, I mean, you know, they
Time
make
to
the
cut our
score, we're writing
losses.
it down. I mean,
How does
that's-
that affect because they're gonna continue on in the wastewater treatment, right?
But these are unrelated.
No, I understand they're
Yeah.
unrelated. It's the
Yeah.
same company.
They, as far as work at the plant, they don't lack anything except for startup, which they have a sub who's doing that on the lift station. And then you have on your agenda tonight, we're going to remove some things from their section
that.
C contract and add it to the HCCCO contract,
No.
so.
So we're just cutting our losses and moving on down the road?
And hopefully they'll see it that way too, for them. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, and it doesn't affect the other project they've got going on.
Well, even if we
couldn't
didn't
get
have
any
any hard
worse.
feelings with them, you know, we still have to get the
Good.
project done.
Yeah.
We've got a specific goal.
We have to do, what we need to do is, the Department of Commerce wants us to get this project closed out.
Yeah.
And we just can't let this just, you know,
Drag on.
drag on forever, and
Bill,
Or-
can you elaborate on when the original contract was supposed to be done? I believe that was April of '23. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
So over a
I think
year
ago.
before then, November of 22
It's
Two.
been dragging on
Two.
forever.
or 3.
It'd be 22.
What?
November of '22 to start, and then to
Yeah.
April,
Of '23, and then we did an extension to
August.
Jenny. I can't remember what the extension was now, but
Yeah.
we're way over on that time. Beyond, I mean, we had things started going downhill on December 10th of 2022, when we had a major leak. And just started, I don't want to say too much on TV, but we had a major leak caused by them. We had to mobilize and take care of the situation. The city spent a lot of money, lost a lot of money on water loss, obviously. And it's just, and obviously they don't see it that way. But, so here we are. This is what we're recommending, and I think that your attorney's feeling like it's the best, I'm putting words in your mouth, Billy, but best course of action given the circumstances that, and like I said, it can't get any worse.
And we've staffed this extensively, city manager, both of them. It is unanimous city recommendation to terminate at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Could I point something out? So those listening would understand that major leak you're talking about was the hole you dug in freezing temperatures, right? In front of the alley there, just half a block from Harrison.
No, sir.
Okay.
That was just an actual main break that had took place.
So that wouldn't have resulted in any of this.
No, the actual leak that took place pertaining to this was almost directly in front of our water treatment plant, and
Okay.
that's what
Okay. Yes, I
actually
remember.
resulted in approximately $40-some thousand worth of damage that was all emergency, viewed as an emergency. I mean, it completely shut our water treatment process down. Resulted in 2 major water line breaks due to the water hammer that was resulted, and then also the large manifold inside our treatment plant. We had approximately probably 20-plus fittings that it blew the gaskets out of in the pipe gallery down there that had to all be took apart and totally redone.
So is there a financial repercussion to this breach clause, the breach that happened in this, so where the city can recoup some of their money?
Well, that's where we are. So there is some money left in the contract, but we have claims from other vendors against the contract and against the contractor, and thusly even, I mean, against the city in a way as a garnishment. So I don't know how much will be left when all that's settled out, and that's, yeah.
I will tell you that breaching the contract does not extinguish any claims the city has. We still have our remedies of it. That's.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Good motion to second.
I believe there's been a motion made and seconded, is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
There's been a motion made and seconded and laid upon the table. The members can cast their vote by electronic device.
I'll vote Strand.
Having received a majority of those elected in constituting the board, the motion carries unanimously. Item number 5 is Young Contracting LLC, change order number 5, section C, wastewater treatment plant. Director Maker.
As we talked a little bit, this was, Vice Mayor, Council, this change order is a decrease of $15,000 to Young Contracting, and this, what this change order is the final switch of our sewer. It's the last manhole build and turning of the sewer to send it up to our wastewater treatment plant. You have a change order that has been signed by Young Contracting to decrease this amount. Staff feels that it would be better for HCCCO to, as far as timing goes, to make that switch when they're ready to actually start receiving the sewer at our wastewater treatment plant.
So you've got a deduct change order on this item, and then your next item is a increased change order for HCCCO. Promotes efficiency and will allow us to hopefully eliminate some of the
We're
problems.
taking it off Young and we'll put it on HCCC.
So moved.
So second.
Motion made and seconded. No further discussion. You may cast your vote.
I'll vote Strand.
Having received unanimous support of those elected to constitute the board, the motion carries. Item number 6 is HCCO LLC, change order number 5, section A, wastewater treatment plant. Director Maker.
Again, this is just simply adding the portion that we deducted from one contractor over to HCCCO's contract, allowing them to move forward with that portion of the project. It's across the board, $15,000 increase to his contract.
So move, second.
First and a second. Got 'em all.
I did both, and so did you.
Been a motion made, seconded, and laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, cast your vote by.
When does this plant open up? Since we just keep, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
So we are kind of in that process. Again, it's a rolling target. Our last progress meeting, we're talking April 22nd to actually turn sewage. Again, waiting on this change order to get through council to make everything right for HCCCO to be able to do that. But at that progress meeting, they were talking April 22nd that they would like to try to possibly turn sewage. That's not full-blown startup, but that would be putting us receiving sewage at our new plant.
Field trip.
Cool.
135
I wanna go.
years. Pretty cool. Just took 135 years.
Yeah, I wanna go out there once we get this thing up and going.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Be happy to take it.
That's all right. Is there any further discussion?
No,
Okay.
sir.
Hearing none, cast your votes by electronic device.
I'll vote Strand.
Having received a majority of those elected to constitute the board, the motion carries unanimously. That being the last item on the agenda, if there's no objection, we stand adjourned at 7:31.